Hello and welcome. Today we're embarking on a journey across America, not just to see the sights, but to understand how rising housing costs and gentrification are reshaping Black communities. This isn't just about buildings, it's about families, culture, and the soul of neighborhoods that have thrived for generations. Our channel is about travel, but also about the stories that matter, stories that open our eyes and hearts. If you believe in the power of these stories, please subscribe and support our mission to shine a light on real-life experiences. All music today is from the YouTube Studio Library, so we can focus on the message. Let's begin our journey. Scene 2 awaits. Our journey begins in Washington, D.C., a city once affectionately called Chocolate City, celebrated as a proud hub of Black culture, creativity, and resilience. For decades, D.C. was a beacon for Black families, artists, and entrepreneurs, shaping the city's unique identity and spirit. Neighborhoods like Shaw and Anacostia pulsed with life, music, and laughter. These were places where families gathered on stoops, children played in the streets, and the rhythms of go-go music echoed through the air. Generations built tight-knit communities, supporting one another through both triumphs and challenges. But today, the landscape is changing rapidly. Sleek new condos and trendy boutiques have sprung up where Black-owned businesses once thrived. The city's soul feels like it's under constant renovation as familiar landmarks disappear and the character of neighborhoods shifts. Gentrification is sweeping through D.C., bringing with it soaring property values and taxes. For many longtime residents, these changes mean more than just new neighbors. They mean being priced out of the homes and communities they've known for generations. Between 2000 and 2013, D.C. lost over 20,000 Black residents from its most rapidly gentrifying neighborhoods. Each moving truck and empty storefront tells a story of displacement and loss. This isn't just a statistic. It's a profound loss of culture, history, and the deep connections that once defined these neighborhoods. The vibrant legacy of Black D.C. is fading, replaced by uncertainty and nostalgia. Families who built these communities are being forced to relocate, often to distant suburbs, far from the roots and relationships they spent lifetimes nurturing. The sense of belonging and shared history is hard to replace. As DC transforms, we must ask ourselves, what is the true cost of progress? Who gets to decide the future of a community? And what do we lose when history is erased? With these questions in mind, let's head south and continue our journey. Next stop, Atlanta, Georgia, a city long celebrated as a Black Mecca. A place where Black excellence, entrepreneurship, and culture have flourished for generations. Atlanta's skyline rises as a symbol of ambition and hope, drawing people from across the country seeking opportunity and community. It's also the cradle of the civil rights movement, the hometown of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and a city where the fight for justice and equality shaped the nation's history. The echoes of those marches and speeches still resonate in Atlanta's streets today. Neighborhoods like the West End and Sweet Auburn, once vibrant centers of Black life and culture, are now at the heart of a dramatic development boom. New buildings rise alongside historic landmarks, changing the face of these communities almost overnight. Ambitious projects like the Atlanta Beltline have brought new parks, trails, and investment, but they've also driven up property values at a staggering pace. For many longtime residents, especially those who have called these neighborhoods home for decades, soaring property taxes and rising costs are making it nearly impossible to stay. Renters, too, are feeling the squeeze. As old apartment buildings are renovated and rents double or even triple, families are forced to move out, searching for affordable housing farther from the city's core. The sense of community that once defined these neighborhoods is being threatened. Ironically, the very culture that made Atlanta unique, its music, art, food, and Black-owned businesses, is now being used to market the city to newcomers and investors. Yet the artists, entrepreneurs, and families who built that culture are being pushed out, their contributions overlooked in the rush for progress. It's a painful irony, progress that erases the very people who built the city's legacy. Elderly residents watch as their neighborhoods change beyond recognition, and historic homes stand empty, reminders of a disappearing past. But the story isn't over. Across Atlanta, residents are organizing, protesting, and fighting to hold on to the soul of their city. The struggle to preserve Atlanta's history, culture, and community continues, an ongoing battle for the heart of the South. Now to New York. In New York City, Harlem and Brooklyn have been sanctuaries for Black culture and creativity. Harlem's Renaissance and Brooklyn's brownstones once symbolized belonging and resilience. Now, luxury condos rise beside historic landmarks, and chain stores replace local businesses. Rents have soared, making these neighborhoods inaccessible to many who called them home for decades. Gentrification here feels like a takeover. Landlords push out long-term tenants, and the community fabric unravels. The rhythm of the streets changes, and newcomers often create parallel communities, deepening divides. The human toll is real: elders displaced, artists priced out, families forced into shelters. When change means erasing the people who gave a place its soul, is it really progress? Let's head west. Welcome to San Francisco, a city once known for its diversity and cultural richness. Today it stands as a testament to the transformative power of the tech boom, which has reshaped the city's landscape and, unfortunately, devastated its historically Black communities. The Fillmore District and Bayview Hunters Point were once vibrant Black neighborhoods, pulsating with life, music, and culture. These areas were the heart of the city's Black community, where jazz legends performed and families thrived. Today, the story is starkly different. Sky-high housing costs have driven a mass exodus, forcing many to leave their homes. The Black population has plummeted from 13% in 1970 to less than 5% now, a dramatic decline that speaks volumes. The Fillmore's iconic jazz clubs, once the soul of the community, have vanished, replaced by upscale businesses catering to a wealthier clientele. The classic Victorian homes, once filled with generations of families, now belong to tech millionaires. In Bayview Hunters Point, the struggle continues. Residents are fighting against displacement and environmental injustice, desperately trying to hold on to their homes and preserve their community amidst relentless development pressures. San Francisco's promise of diversity and inclusion feels increasingly distant as the city morphs into a playground for the ultra-rich, leaving little room for those who once called it home. The loss of its Black community is a deep wound, a cultural and historical void that may never fully heal, leaving behind echoes of what once was. As we journey down the coast to Los Angeles, we carry with us the stories and struggles of those left behind in San Francisco. In Los Angeles, neighborhoods like South LA, Crenshaw, and Leimert Park have long been Black cultural epicenters. But a booming economy and housing shortage have made these areas targets for developers. Projects like the new NFL Stadium in Inglewood and the Crenshaw LAX Metro line have accelerated gentrification. Rents have soared, and longtime residents are being pushed out by rising costs and aggressive development. Community activists are fighting back, demanding protections, land trusts, and development that serves existing residents. The battle is for the identity of Black LA, to keep its culture alive amid relentless change. Now, to Chicago. In Chicago, the South and West Sides have been the heart of Black life for generations. Bronzeville and Woodlawn are seeing a surge of investment, but it's pushing out longtime residents. The Obama Presidential Center brings hope, but also fears of rising rents and displacement. On the West Side, neighborhoods like Logan Square face cultural erasure as new wealth moves in. The paradox: after decades of disinvestment, investment now threatens to replace rather than uplift. Residents fight for development that benefits those who stayed, not just newcomers. Let's visit New Orleans. In New Orleans, Black neighborhoods like Treme and the Lower Ninth Ward are the wellspring of the city's culture. Hurricane Katrina devastated these communities, and recovery efforts left many Black residents behind. Developers bought up storm-damaged properties, and a wave of gentrification followed. Rents soared, and the Black population shrank as new, wealthier residents moved in. The culture that makes New Orleans unique is threatened as housing becomes unaffordable for those who created it. The fight here is for the right to return and to rebuild not just homes, but the soul of the community. Next, Houston. In Houston, historic Black neighborhoods like the 3rd and 4th wards face relentless development. Houston's lack of zoning allows luxury townhouses to replace historic homes, erasing neighborhood character block by block. Rising property values and taxes put immense pressure on longtime residents, especially seniors. Freedmanstown, built by former slaves, is being squeezed by Midtown's expansion. Community groups fight for historic designations and affordable housing to preserve these legacies. The struggle is to ensure growth doesn't erase history. On to Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, North and West Philly have been Black strongholds for generations. An influx of new residents and university expansions have triggered rapid gentrification. Around Temple University and in West Philly, rents have soared, and longtime residents compete with students for housing. The cultural fabric is being altered to cater to a transient population, leaving locals feeling erased. Residents are organizing to protect their homes and preserve Black Philadelphia's legacy. The fight is to ensure the city's growth doesn't leave its backbone behind. Our final stop, Oakland. In Oakland, once a working-class center of Black culture and activism, the tech boom has driven rents to record highs. The city lost 25% of its Black population in a single decade, as families were forced out to distant suburbs. West Oakland's historic heart now sees luxury cars and cafes where Black-owned businesses once thrived. Murals of Black pride serve as backdrops for newcomers, while the culture creators are displaced. Activists like Moms for Housing are fighting for rent control and the right to stay in their homes. The battle in Oakland is for its very soul, a fight to keep the town for the people who made it. Let's close our journey. Thank you for joining us on this journey across America's changing Black communities. These stories are about more than housing. They're about culture, history, and the right to belong. If these stories moved you, please subscribe and support our mission to amplify real voices. Let's keep learning, growing, and supporting one another. Thank you for caring. The journey continues in our hearts and in our communities. Go well.